said to rescue those who are being taken away to death. Now stand by while they're being mass murdered.
Yeah, he calls us. Jesus expressed more of us.
Thousands of babies are being murdered in the day, in the womb every day. Thousands. But what are you doing about it?
I'm gonna do about it?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pray.
Well, are you supposed to pray when someone's being murdered, or pray and take action?
I'm just gonna pray.
Would you just pray if someone came out here with a knife and was going to slice us all to pieces? You mean you wouldn't just pray in that situation?
You would defend other people, wouldn't you?
I see it.
Then why don't you pray and take action for the preborn? Because they're being mass murdered.
What am I gonna do? What are you doing?
I go out to where they're being murdered and I speak up for them.
What do you do? Speak up?
I told them. Well, you just say all you do is pray.
If I see somebody physically getting hurt, I'm going to do something physically.
Well, they are physically getting hurt.
What they're doing to those babies,
I
though.
don't see it. I'm not seeing it.
But you know what happens? Because we're telling you it happens.
We can show you the pictures of what's left.
I don't see it. I don't want to see it.
You just want to turn a blind eye? See, look at it. This is your neighbor in need. This happens to children every day. And you can take action to rescue them. Come out to where they're being mass murdered. They were murdered yesterday in Milwaukee. I was out there where this happened to children.
Men of courage, men of faith.
We need to pray and take action. Not just pray. Jesus didn't say to just pray and take no action. We need to love our neighbor as ourselves. We need to respond the same way to our preborn neighbors being murdered as we would that our born neighbors being murdered. Not because you wouldn't just pray if we were going to be threatened with death today. So we need to be consistent, and we're not. Just because we don't see the murders taking place doesn't mean it's not happening. We're showing you the murders right now.
Why are y'all standing right there in the door?
To reach people. Yeah, so I'm standing here right now.
Huh?
So I'm standing here right now to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm saying, but you trying to catch those coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, just turning in this time.
That's the problem.
So
Stand right
I exhort you.
What if some people don't want to hear it? Y'all going to force that on them?
Well, if they're Christians, they should want to hear it.
What if they don't want to hear it?
And then go inside. Or they can walk away. Well, why wouldn't they want to hear it? It's Christians.
Right. Yeah, but they don't want to hear it.
Why wouldn't they want to hear to exhort? I mean, we come with an exhortation to love their neighbor.
They may not be full-grown Christians. Grown Christians.
What do you mean?
They might just converted last week.
Well, then they should understand why we're here. They should care. They should care. If they're Christian, they should care.
A sinner should care.
Yeah. Sometimes they care more than Christians do. Well, if they're truly saved and born, if they're truly born again, I think that they would have compassion on the least of these. They'd have compassion on these children when they see that there's a Holocaust in their midst, that mass murder is taking place. I think that a Christian would care about that and want to take action to rescue them, not avoid the exhortation to love their neighbor as themselves. Well, the Holy Spirit does the convincing. Yeah, the Holy Spirit can.
If the person said they don't want to hear it, then you study yakking at them. That's harassment.
It's not harassment. It's free speech.
Freedom of speech.
They can walk away. I'm not forcing them to listen to me. I mean, you're free to walk away anytime. I'm not forcing you to listen to me. But I mean, I would think if they're truly a Christian, they would appreciate us being here, exhorting them to love their neighbor as themselves, the most needy, helpless, defenseless, innocent neighbor, because that's what our preborn neighbors are. People murdered outside the womb. All these shootings that take place, a lot of these people, they could defend themselves. They could run away. They could scream out, call for help. The preborn can't do any of that when they're being mass murdered. And most Christians act like that's no big deal. Most professing Christians act like that's no big deal. Is it a big deal to you? Why'd you give the literature back?
What?
Why'd you give the literature back?
It wasn't given to me. I was told to give it back.
Well, what? Do you know why? Was it?
They don't want it.
Why? Any idea why they didn't want it? Was it the pastor that gave it to you? Was it the pastor that gave it to you to give us back to us?
I'm okay.
This is a flyer.
I'm okay.
But the preborn aren't okay.
Sir. I'm okay.
But your preborn neighbors aren't okay. They're being slaughtered.
Okay.
They're having their arms and legs ripped off, their skulls crushed. Does that not bother you at all?
Yeah.
Does that not bother you at all?